Welcome back to my channel. So, for today's video, for 31 days of spooky season, because that's what I'm going to call it, I'm going to be telling you my list of top 10 classic horror films that you should watch for this Halloween. Yay. I could have been a little more enthusiastic. Oh well. Quickly, before we get into the video, it's like 11:30 at night. I have a chinchilla. For those of you who don't know, they're nocturnal, so if you hear really weird noises, that's him. It's not a ghost. I didn't release anything from my Ouija board. Anyways, for today's video, like I said, I'm going to be telling you guys my top 10 classic horror film recommendations, and I want to be clear before we get into this, because this can be a very controversial video. This is my personal list. I didn't look up a list. My personal list, and specifically, it is classic horror films, because let me put it to you this way. I am queen of horror. I love horror films, hence, you know, that's part of the name. Telling me to pick 10 horror films for people to watch, that's a lot to ask. It's hard to pick 10 when there are so many good ones out there. So I did classic because I was like, okay, let's narrow it down. We'll just stick with classic, which, by the way, this list to me, classic is anything before 2000. That is, I know, like, it's not, some of them aren't that old, like 90s, it's a little iffy, but to me, anything before 2000 is considered a classic. That's what we're doing for the sake of this video. But, yeah, so, for me to pick classic horror films, if you've been here a while, you know classic horror films, like, I have a thing for classic horror films. I absolutely love classic horror films. So to tell me to pick 10, it was very difficult. I was struggling. I was looking at my horror film rack and I'm like looking at all the movies like, what if I missed something? Like, you know, because I know after I make this video, I'm going to think of a movie and be like, oh, I should have put that in there instead of that one. So yeah, this was very difficult for me. Hardest video I've ever had to make. Yeah, this was hard. And I do want to put out there, this is my personal opinion. I know some people are not going to agree, or some people are going to be like, oh, this movie's so much better. Why didn't you put this movie? You could have taken this one out. That's okay. If you feel that way, that is fine. This is just my personal opinion, but I do want to see your comments down below. Like, what films, like, would you take any of these out? What are your favorites? Give me your top 10, because maybe there's a horror film that's classic that I haven't seen. So comment down below your horror film recommendation. Specifically classic would be cool, but whatever. But anyways, I'm gonna shut up because we know I always have super long intros, so let's get into the video. Alright, so these are in no particular order. Like, the last three I say, I guess those will be like my top three. I know, I should just do a top 3 video with how much I talk. But yeah, so these are in no particular order because I'm like, it started getting too tricky for me. I know, I'm so good at making decisions. I'm really not. Spoiler alert, because I know this is where everyone's gonna come for me. I did not put Friday the 13th on the list. Nope. I've seen the first few. Not my favorite. I don't know why. Like, I don't hate Jason, but like, I don't know. Like, Friday the 13th. Okay, I lied. I'm sorry. That was like, I liked the Friday the 13th, like the first few are, and then after that I'm like, alright, you guys like way overdid it. But like, I don't know, usually like those aren't my go-tos, but now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, oh wait, now I kind of feel bad not putting it on there, but it's okay. Okay, you know what, number 10, Friday the 13th. This is not the film I watch most in October, but again, the first couple, the 1 through 3, I'm like, they're pretty good. After that, I'm like, screw it, no, don't bother. So yeah, I just changed my number 10. See, this is what's gonna happen when I'm editing. I'm like, oh, everything's wrong, and yeah. So number 10, Friday the 13th. I recommend it. Good classic horror film. Jason is like usually like the most known. I feel like out of all of like the serial killer films, Jason is like the most known, so you should watch that. This is off to a great start. Number 9, I personally like black and white films, believe it or not, so I'm gonna have to give it to Psycho, which was created in 1960. This movie, I know I could have described Friday the 13th, no offense, if you don't know who Jason is by now, or like what that's about, I don't know what to tell you. Why do I keep going? Anyways, so, Psycho, it's been a while since I've seen Psycho, so don't come for me. I forget the girl's name, but it's about a girl, and like, I think she went to go run away with her boyfriend, and she like took like her boss's money, I think. If I'm wrong, don't come for me, please. It's been so long since I've seen Psycho, but I know, why are you putting it on the list if you haven't seen it in so long? I really do like the movie though. I should watch it though. I should have watched it before making this. Anyways, back to the point, because this video is going to be 30 minutes long. Girl goes to run away with her boyfriend, and she goes and stays at the Bates Motel, where she meets a lovely man, such a lovely man by the name of Norman. And basically, you know, he seems nice at first, and then he's a total psychopath, and he kills her. Yeah. That's pretty much the movie in a nutshell. But yeah, it is a really good film. I do like it. Oh, Psycho. It has the notorious shower scene, so that's why you should watch it. Next. This is such... I don't know what this video is. I'm sorry, guys. At number 8, I'm going to give it to Scream, because the main character has the same first name as me. Just kidding about the reason why, but yeah, we do have the same first name, fun fact. Scream was created in 1996. It is a Wes Craven film. I'm giving it a spot because I like it a lot. That's not a good enough reason. It's not really scary, but like, it's really good. I like it. I should give better like descriptions of what these are about, because people are gonna be like, okay, I'm hearing your recommendation, why should I watch it? But no, I really like Scream. I am a huge fan of Wes Craven. Like, I was actually very devastated when I heard he died, which he died a few years ago. Like, I was devastated. Like, I love Wes Craven. That's like one of my like inspirations, but I really like Scream, so you should watch it just because I like it. No other reason. I'm just kidding. Number 7, I'm giving it to The Craft, another 1996 film. This film is about a girl, I forget her name, but I've seen The Craft so many times. Cannot think of her name right now, and it's really making me upset. Again, I should like have watched all these films before making this. But The Craft, it's about this girl, and she's like got witch powers, and she meets this group of 3 other girls that like, they got like weird witch powers, and they create like a little cult type thing, little coven. Yeah, it's about witches. It's a really good, interesting movie. It's not like traditional witch stuff like you would think, but it is a really good movie. I really liked it. I should give better descriptions. Let's move on to the next one. Number 6, Halloween, 1978. Yes, I have a list written down because I was going to forget. Yes, I wrote the years next to them because I could not remember them all for the life of me. Halloween, Michael Myers. It's a classic. You should watch. Like, some of these I'm like, it's just a classic, like you just have to watch it. Other ones I'm like, I just really like this one, you know. But I kind of tried to pick like, oh, you definitely got to see this one, like this is a classic. And then like I was like, nah, I also like this one too. I do like the Halloween movies. Honestly, I really prefer Rob Zombie's Halloween movies. Like, again, I'm not like a huge remake person. I don't like remakes, but I really like Rob Zombie, and I really like his remake of Halloween. But you should see the original before seeing his, before making a decision. So, Halloween. All right, next. Number 5, I'm giving it to Silence of the Lambs, which was created in 1991. This is a movie about a man by the name of Hannibal Lecter, who is a cannibal. And there is a woman by the name of Clarice who is doing an investigation on Buffalo Bill, and Hannibal Lecter was a psychologist, which makes it like, whoa, because like, he's a psychologist and he's eating people, he's got a lot of issues. Anyways, but she goes to him, I guess, to ask questions of, like, they're trying to capture Buffalo Bill. He basically is like kidnapping women and making them put this weird lotion on and like peeling their skin off to wear, which is really weird, and yeah. But she talks to Hannibal to try to like get insight on like how to find him and stuff. And it's overall a really good movie, but it's very weird. Yeah, it's weird, but it's good. Now Reaper's making noise. Let's move on to the next one. At number 4, we have specifically The Bride of Chucky, which was created in 1998. I have a lot of 90s films on here, but like I'm more of an 80s person, which is interesting. But anyways, not the point. I do recommend watching some of the Child Play movies. My favorite, though, is Bride of Chucky, again, 1998. This is where it has Chucky and Tiffany, and they basically take these 2, like, high school sweethearts and try to get into their bodies. 2 dolls trying to get into their bodies. Fun stuff. But, no, the Child's Play series is really good. I definitely say watch the first one. Second one was good. I don't remember the third one too much. I watched it, like, once or twice. Bride of Chucky is my absolute favorite. Seed of Chucky was alright. Anything after that, do not watch. It sucks. It was like, boo-doo. That's how the Child's Play movies are. So yeah, next. At number 3, I could not make a list without putting this movie on there, but it is like my third favorite. The Exorcist, 1974. This movie, when it came out into theaters, fun fact, it was so scary because, like, to me now watching it, it's not scary, but it was so before its time. It was so scary. People would walk out vomiting, freaking out. Like, they actually had to have a priest in movie theaters after people walked out of the movie because they were that terrified of it. Yeah, so I'm gonna put that on there. It is a really good movie. I personally didn't find it that scary, but like, you have to see The Exorcist. Like, that is literally like the all-time horror film. Like, they say it's the scariest horror film, which again, to me it's not, but like, for its time, people were like, nobody had ever really seen like an exorcism on TV or like see like possession on TV. Like, it was just something so out there. But yeah, go watch that. Number 2, this is where people might be like, what? But I had to put it. It is my second favorite horror film, The Lost Boys, created in 1987. I love this movie. I really love the soundtrack for this movie. And I don't really say that about movies, but like the soundtrack, like that's something I'll go listen to in my car. Like, I love the soundtrack of this movie. They pick like great songs for like the whole movie. It is a little bit off from the traditional vampire storyline, but it's still like really good. I love it. Like, you have to watch it. Even like, there are people I know that like love vampires that are like, yeah, it's not accurate, but it's still like such a great movie. Like, you have to watch it. Like, it's got some funny parts. I didn't find it scary, but it's like got some funny parts. It's just like so cool overall. Like, go watch it. You will see what I'm talking about if you go watch it. And the last horror film at number 1, and this is my number 1 favorite series, and my number 1 favorite horror film is in this series. And if you've been here long enough, you know what that is. Drum roll. I can't do a drum roll. Nightmare on Elm Street. Another Wes Craven. But yes, I love the Nightmare on Elm Streets. My absolute favorite Nightmare on Elm Street is Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors, which came out in 1987. Highly recommend the Nightmare on Elm Streets. I love the Nightmare on Elm Streets. Like, I love Freddy. You should know who he is by now, and if you don't, you should look him up, or you should go watch it. Yeah, I normally wear my little Nightmare on Elm Street hat. I didn't want to spoil it for this video, but Nightmare on Elm Street has my heart. I absolutely love it. Definitely recommend you go watch it. It is my number 1 favorite horror film of all time. Like, when people tell me like, oh, I haven't seen it, I'm like, like, I am very like heartbroken. But yeah, that is my top 10 list of horror films. Alright guys, that is it for today's video. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Comment down below, what are your favorite horror films to watch? Like, what should I watch? Like, you know, any recommendations? Because I know people are like, you didn't put this one, there were so many. I was like, literally as I was saying these, I was like, oh, Jaws, like, that's another good one. Like, it's just gonna keep happening. There's just too many great, like, there are too many great ones to put into a list of 10. Like, this was so hard. But yeah, comment down below your horror film recommendations. Check out my Instagram at HorrorLover13. I am posting SFX makeup looks on there every day for the month of October. Whoop whoop. Check out my website, queenofhorror.com. That is where I post everything horror in case you are not getting enough horror on this channel. And I have an Etsy shop at Sydney's Sewing Studio. Reaper's going ballistic. But at Sydney's Sewing Studio. And I do have Halloween items up there right now. So go check it out. Some of them are very limited. Like, once they're gone, and you might miss out. But yeah, that is it for today's video. So till next time, bye guys! And just remember, always say goodbye. Bye!